This man just sold his company for $2 billion. He's also a member of the Cherokee Nation. But most people think Native Americans only exist in history books. What you're about to see will completely change how you think about Native Americans today. Right now, there are 574 recognized Native American tribes in the United States. That's more than the number of countries in Europe, and they're not living in the past. Today, I'm going to show you the real story of how Native Americans live in 25. We'll visit thriving cities you've never heard of, meet innovators changing the world, and discover why everything you learned in school was wrong. Plus, I'll reveal 3 facts that will blow your mind about modern Native life. But first, let me ask you something. Did you know that some Native American tribes are richer per person than most American cities? Or that the largest employer in Oklahoma isn't oil? It's a Cherokee-owned casino empire. But here's the crazy part. While some tribes are building billion-dollar businesses, theirs are still fighting just to get clean water. It's like 2 completely different worlds existing side by side. And that's just the beginning of this story. Breaking stereotypes. Let's start by destroying some myths. When most people think of Native Americans, they picture teepees and feathers. But look at this. This is Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Cherokee Nation's headquarters sits right in the heart of this modern city. They employ over 11,000 people and run everything from hospitals to aerospace companies. Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. doesn't wear a headdress to work. He wears a business suit and manages a budget of $2.4 billion. That's bigger than some countries. But it gets even more interesting. Native Americans are crushing it in tech. Meet Crystal Echo Hawk. She's Pawnee, and she built a tech company that helps other Native entrepreneurs. Her platform has funded over 200 startups. Or look at this. The Navajo Nation just launched their own broadband internet company. They're bringing high-speed internet to remote areas that major companies ignored for decades. These aren't stories from the History Channel. This is happening right now. And education? Native Americans are rewriting that story too. There are 37 tribal colleges across the country. These schools teach everything from computer science to traditional medicine. Students learn calculus in the morning and their ancestral language in the afternoon. Dr. Cheryl Crazy Bull is the president of the American Indian College Fund. She told me something incredible. Native college graduates often return to their communities as teachers, doctors, and leaders. The graduation rate from tribal colleges is actually higher than many state schools. If this is already surprising you, hit that like button because this next part is going to blow your mind. I'm about to show you the richest county in America that most people have never heard of. And yes, it's on a reservation. But first, we need to talk about the other side of this story. The challenges. Here's the thing nobody talks about. While some tribes are thriving, others are facing serious challenges. The poverty rate on some reservations is 3 times the national average. In South Dakota, the Pine Ridge Reservation has an unemployment rate of 80%. That's not a typo, 80%. And then there's the water situation. In 25, some Native communities still don't have running water. The Navajo Nation is the size of West Virginia, but 30% of families have to drive miles just to fill up water containers. Imagine doing your homework when your family spends 3 hours a day just getting water. But here's what's amazing. They're not waiting for help. Native communities are solving these problems themselves. The Navajo Water Project trains local people to install water systems. They have already helped over 10,000 families. And it's not just water. In Alaska, Native villages are building wind farms. In Arizona, tribes are installing solar panels. They're becoming energy independent while protecting the environment. Remember, these are the same people who lived sustainably for thousands of years before anyone knew what climate change meant. Cultural preservation meets modernity. Now, here's something that will give you chills. Native languages were almost wiped out, but they're coming back in the most incredible ways. The Cherokee Nation created an app to teach Cherokee to kids. It's like Duolingo, but for preserving a culture that almost disappeared. Over 100,000 people have downloaded it. But get this, Netflix now has shows dubbed in Cherokee, Navajo, and other native languages. Imagine watching Black Panther in Cherokee. That's happening right now. And powwows? They're not museum pieces. They're massive events that blend tradition with modern life. The Gathering of Nations in Albuquerque brings together 100,000 people every year. You'll see traditional dancers checking their phones between ceremonies and posting TikToks of their regalia. These young people aren't choosing between their culture and the modern world. They're creating something new that honors both. Revelation 1. The richest county. Remember I promised to show you the richest county in America that's on a reservation? Here it is. Williams County, North Dakota. It's part of the Fort Berthold Reservation, and the average household income is over $120,000 a year. How? Oil. The 3 affiliated tribes negotiated their own oil deals and kept the profits. While other communities got pennies, they got billions. They used that money to build schools, hospitals, and businesses. Unemployment went from 60% to almost zero in just 10 years. But here's the plot twist. They're now investing in renewable energy because they know oil won't last forever. Political power and sovereignty. Let's talk about something most people don't understand. Tribal sovereignty. Native American tribes are nations within a nation. They have their own governments, their own laws, and their own courts. The Cherokee Nation's Supreme Court can overrule decisions that affect Cherokee citizens, even if they live in other states. And get this, some tribes issue their own license plates, have their own police forces, and even their own constitutions. The Iroquois Nation has a passport that's recognized by other countries. But Native political power goes way beyond reservations. In 2020, Native voters decided key elections in Arizona and North Carolina. Sharice Davids is a member of Congress and a member of the Ho-Chunk Nation. She's also a former MMA fighter and Harvard lawyer, tribe befitting that stereotype. There are currently 4 Native Americans in Congress and hundreds more in state and local governments. They're not asking for a seat at the table, they're building their own tables. Business and economics. Let's address the elephant in the room, casinos. Yes, many tribes run casinos, but it's not what you think. Tribal gaming is a $35 billion industry, but casinos are just the beginning. The Mohegan Sun isn't just a casino, it's a resort with concerts, restaurants, and sports teams. But here's what's really smart. Tribes are using casino profits to diversify. The Seminole tribe owns Hard Rock Cafe. The San Manuel Band owns Palms Casino in Las Vegas. And Native businesses aren't just about casinos anymore. Native American Natural Foods makes epic protein bars. 8th Generation creates amazing Native-designed blankets and clothing. Tokabe serves traditional Native food in trendy Denver restaurants. These aren't charity cases or cultural projects. These are profitable businesses competing with anyone. The Hollywood secret. Here's something Hollywood doesn't want you to know. Remember every Western movie you've ever seen? Most of the Native American actors were actually white guys in makeup. But today, Native actors are taking over. Adam Beach has been in Transformers and Suicide Squad. Tantu Cardinal is in every major TV show. These aren't token roles. These are leading characters written by Native writers. The entertainment industry is finally catching up to reality. Environmental leadership. Here's something that should make everyone pay attention. Native Americans control 2% of U.S. land, but that land contains 20% of our oil, gas, and renewable energy resources. They're not just sitting on these resources. They're using them responsibly. The Inuit people in Alaska are tracking climate change better than any government agency. Their traditional knowledge about weather patterns is helping scientists understand global warming. Turns out, people who lived with nature for thousands of years know a thing or two about environmental changes. And conservation, native lands have some of the cleanest air and water in the country. The White Mountain Apache tribe manages one of the healthiest forests in Arizona. Their sustainable logging practices are now copied by other states, but here's the most incredible part of this whole story. After everything, broken treaties, forced relocations, boarding schools designed to kill the Indian and save the man, Native Americans didn't just survive. They're thriving, they're innovating, they're leading. Today's Native Americans are CEOs and computer programmers, doctors and artists, politicians and entrepreneurs. They're keeping their traditions alive while building the future, and they're doing it their way, with community values, environmental respect, and cultural pride that never disappeared. What surprised you most? The billion-dollar businesses or Netflix shows in Cherokee? Hit subscribe for more stories that challenge what you think you know. Next week, how young people are saving ancient languages with apps,